Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Kabir Considers. In this video, I'm going to react to a father smoking his daughter's boyfriend who sold her into trafficking. Now, this is some real life Taken type scenario. I mean, every father's absolute worst nightmare. To have something like that happen to your daughter, it would set anybody off. So I can't blame the father for doing this. I can't wait to see how it goes down exactly, because this is it's just beyond, like, I don't know how you would even process. You probably would never ever get over that. You would never get over that. Even in the scenario, if you get her back, you're just forever, like, my paranoia levels would be multiplied by 1,000, just like constantly, like, are you okay, where are you type scenario. So yeah, this should be really interesting to watch. Let's do it.
Hi everyone, Donut here. Today's video is going to be about angry dads, retribution, and real life Taken situations. Taken, like with Liam Neeson's in it. But first, a word from our sponsor, MyBookie. I was browsing the old Instagram the other day when I came across a post from a friend. It was a screenshot of a news article that he had captioned Hero. It was a news article that was titled, "Man Killed His Daughter's Boyfriend for Selling Her into Certain Acts Trafficking Ring," police say. The 19-year-old victim was killed last year, police in Spokane, Washington say. The remains were recently discovered in the trunk of a car. They had my curiosity, but now they have my attention. This story brought on national attention, with many people agreeing with the fact that the father is a hero. What father wouldn't want to go Liam Neeson's on someone who sold your little girl into sex slavery? The reason that we are talking about it today because it's so interesting that there are other incidents from a while back where this same exact thing happened, where an angry father killed someone who harmed their kid and they got off nearly scot-free. One of the incidents we're going to talk about today, an angry dad killed a bad man on national television. Straight up schwacked a pedo on the news. We'll get to that in a moment. Back to the original story of the 19-year-old found in a trunk. What are the deets on this one? Coming directly from the Spokane Police Department. On 10/22/21, Spokane police responded to a very stinky abandoned vehicle. I mean, you already know why it's kind of stinky.
Yeah, because of the decomposing corpse.
Already went over the headline. The victim was identified as the 19-year-old boyfriend. Detectives did what detectives will do: eat lunch for 3 hours and investigate a couple things before going to a very lucrative extra duty assignment at the bowling alley. No, I'm playing. I love you guys. Gotta poke a little fun there. Just a little poka. These criminal investigation wizards quickly put two and two together and arrested 60-year-old John Eisman for first-degree murder. First degree being the big degree. That's the one with intent, where there's planning involved and you say, hey, that's the motherfucker I want to kill, most of the time. Whereas second degree is something like robbing a random person and shooting them to death, or someone killed randomly in a drive-by, something like that.
Come on, G.
Rest in peace, G baby. What happened to our dad, Eisman, is he learned that his juvenile daughter at the time was sold to a sex trafficking organization.
So I'm guessing the daughter was never found, was she? Because it doesn't sound like, you know, she was found, and maybe if they found her and they reunited, this wouldn't have happened.
In the Seattle area by the 19-year-old boyfriend, who is now human soup in the trunk of a car. Sex trafficking organizations being a disgusting world where women and children are purposefully addicted to drugs and then sold to other disgusting human beings for, you know, and other horrible things.
Absolutely
Eisman
disgusting.
went and rescued his daughter in October of 2020.
Oh, he rescued her. Awesome. Well done, that man.
But the boyfriend was nowhere to be found. The next month, though, November of 2020, he learned that the boyfriend was going to be at a location in Airway Heights, Washington. Eisman waited for him, abducted him, tied him up, and threw him into the trunk of a car. Eisman then hit the boyfriend over the head with a cinder block, repeatedly stabbed him, drove to a remote location, and left him bleeding out in the trunk of the car. Almost exactly 1 year later, someone takes the car to another location. It could have been Eisman, or it could have been a thief or some kids that found it. We don't know yet. I'm guessing maybe not a random person. I feel like if it was a random person, they would have been like, damn, this bitch stink. I feel like there's not too many people that would take a joyride in a stolen car that smells like there's been a corpse baking in the sun in the trunk for a year. If it was a thief or a random person, probably because the car...
I can't imagine how much that thing must have smelled. It must have smelled awful.
Car smells like that lady's hoo-ha from the famous Reddit story, The Swamps of Dagobah, they would have dumped the car in the location where the cops found it. Or maybe Eisman felt guilty or something. There will probably be more of the story as the trial happens. Even then, the cops only find it because some thieves come along and rummage through the car, and they're the ones that found the decaying body in the trunk. They straight up went from wanting to steal the change out of your cup holder to getting their prints all over a murder scene. Oopsie daisy. The dad, Eisman, had no recent criminal history and also no criminal history of anything violent. This is going to be a pretty interesting trial, and I'll tell you why. Something almost exactly like this happened in the mid-'80s, and the dad walked out of the courthouse. And this dad did a murder on national news. 1983, Gary Plache started taking his son Jody to a karate instructor named Jeffrey Doucette. For over the next couple of years, the boy was touched by Doucette. In 1985, Doucette kidnapped the boy and spent a couple days in a motel in California with him. Doucette let the boy use a payphone to call his mom, and the police quickly traced it to the motel and arrested him. The dad heard about what this dirtbag had been doing to his son and figured out where the police were going to be flying him into for prosecution. Dad grabbed his revolver and headed over to the Baton Rouge Metropolitan Airport. He donned a baseball cap, sunglasses, and pretended like he was talking on a payphone. As a couple of police officers were escorting the suspect past the row of payphones where the dad was waiting, Dad turned around and under his arm delivered a perfect headshot to the suspect. He hit this dirtbag in the ear area and he died the next day. Police wrestled the gun away from him, and the dad was initially charged with second-degree murder.
Wow.
But he pled it down to no contest to manslaughter. His defense argued that he could not tell the difference between right and wrong during the incident, that he had been driven to a temporary psychotic state after learning of the abuse of his son. He was sentenced to 7 years in prison, suspended, and 5 years of probation with 300 hours community service. Probably because he's a hero. In closing, the judge said sending him to prison would help no one, and there was virtually no risk of him committing another crime. Before he died of a stroke in his nursing home in 2014, the dad said he had no regrets about killing Doucette and he would gladly do it again. Oh, I want to go watch Law Abiding Citizen now. It's like one of my favorite movies. So my question is to you guys, to leave in the comments below, what do you think a jury is going to say about our most recent incident that happened where the dad stabbed old boyfriend and put him in the trunk of a car and left him there for...
I think he's going to get some prison time. Let me know if he did and if he didn't, but I suspect he will, because if they don't punish him, then what kind of a precedent does that set? Even though I don't want him to be punished, you got to think if it sets a precedent, so now people will start doing it in big numbers.
You know, selling his daughter to sex trafficking ring. Obviously, the cases are different from the other, and the times are different, and the justice system is different from the revolving door of criminals that get let out when they shouldn't, and other people being kept in jail for protecting their families and their loved ones and themselves. Like I said, let me know what you think is going to happen to Mr. John Eisman in the comments below with all this stuff going on right now. If you want to help support the channel, check out some of the ads I put up. Check out my second channel.
That was crazy. Honestly, I don't blame that father one bit for what he did. One bit. I need to find the you know, what actually happened in that case. I suspect that he got given prison time, probably a lot, maybe less than, you know, typical second or first or whatever degree murder would get. But I don't think that they were as lenient with him as the guy who in the 80s did that thing. I just, because it would set one hell of a precedent. You know, people would go out and start, I mean, even though I don't have anything against people doing that, if God forbid their kids, that thing happens to them. It's just that the amount of evil out there, it's just insane. So yeah, please guys, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. What happened? What was the resolution of the case? Yeah, please let me know. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next one.